We will now reconvene the special city council meeting. Madam City Attorney, do we have anything to report?
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. There were 2 items on the closed session agenda. Item number 1, the City Council received a report and gave direction to its real property negotiators. And Mr. City Manager will report on item number 2.
Madam Mayor, members of the public, with respect to item number 2, the appointment of our next fire chief, the council met in closed session, and there was a motion by Councilmember Rodriguez and a second by Mayor Pro Tem Frometa, and the unanimous vote of the City Council with Councilmember Saab absent to ratify my appointment of Dan Herlock as the Downey Fire Chief effective January 1st, 2021. Let's join him, please, with a round of applause. Just a little bit here on Dan. He's got a bachelor's degree from California State University, Long Beach. He's served as a firefighter paramedic from 2000 to 2011 for 11 years, was a fire captain 2011 to 14, and a battalion chief for the last 6 years. Brings a great wealth of experience and a private sector experience, which is always something that's beneficial to have somebody with experience on both sides of the counter. So I'm sure Dan's going to do a fantastic job moving forward, moving the department forward. At this time, I'd also like to thank Mr. Gillespie, Fire Chief Mark Gillespie, for his unwavering dedication to the city over his 36 plus years with the city. It's fantastic, the accomplishments that you've accomplished over the last 5 years, really, of really doing a yeoman's job. So I want to personally thank you for the work that you did as well, and then we expect the same from Mr. Herlock as well. So thank you and congratulations again. Dan, would you like to say anything?
Kind of emotional. I didn't know I was going to be emotional at this time. Sure. But I'd like to thank you, City Manager Levis, for appointing me, and City Council for approving his appointment and affirming me tonight. I'd like to thank Chief Gillespie for all of his guidance and leadership. Over my career, he was my training captain when I got hired, so I've learned a lot from him. He's the one who promoted me to battalion chief, so thank you very much. I'm looking forward to being a part of the city's administrative staff and just doing a great job for the city that I grew up in. And I'm just humbled and glad to be a part. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations. The special city council meeting is now adjourned. Before I begin the regular city council meeting, I would like to inform members of the public that I will be taking public comment for non-agenda public comment and for items on the agenda via our teleconference line. Those wishing to address the city council may call 562-299-6622 when I make that announcement. Persons speaking are limited to a maximum of 3 minutes. Your comments will be read into the record and you will be advised when your time has ended. Once your time has ended, the call will be immediately disconnected. For those who have submitted their comments via email, your comments will be read into the record at the appropriate times during the meeting, and no additional public comment will be permitted via teleconference. I would now like to call to order the regular city council meeting. City Clerk Duarte, will you please take roll?
Yes, Mayor. Before I take roll, I would like to inform members of the audience that Council Members Ashton and Saab are participating in this meeting via teleconference. Councilmember Ashton?
Present.
Councilmember Rodriguez?
Here.
Councilmember Saab?
Here by Zoom.
Mayor Pro Tem Frometa?
Present.
And Mayor Pacheco.
Present. I would now like to have Councilmember Rick Rodriguez do the invocation for us.
Please rise. So, Lord, we thank you for the opportunity to be here this evening, Lord. And Lord, we pray that this meeting goes smooth and quickly, Lord. And Lord, we pray for our city. We welcome our new fire chief, Lord, with open arms, and we are thankful for his leadership. And we thank our retiring fire chief, Lord, for all the years of his committed service and for his family doing without him for so many years, Lord, so he can be dedicated to our city. Lord, go before us tonight. Keep it simple. Keep it just a light meeting this evening, Lord. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you. I would now like to invite up Executive Director Michael Calvert. Is he here? To lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you.
Good evening. I'd ask you to please place your hand over your heart and ready to begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Now,
Video routing.
before we go on to presentations, I would like to quickly go on down, and with the council, I'd like to take a picture with our incoming fire chief. Next up, we have a certificate of appointment to Irma Saavedra, Library Advisory Board, District 4. This will be done by our Mayor Pro Tem, Claudia Fermetta. Is Irma here? Maybe she's outside.
I'm going to take my mask, and if you can step 2 steps that way. Good evening, everybody. It is my pleasure this evening to appoint Irma Saavedra to our library board. Irma has been an active resident of Downey for nearly 20 years. She's been married for the last 25 years to her husband, John, and they have an adult son. Irma and her husband are very involved in Our Lady of Perpetual Help Catholic Church here in Downey, and they serve together. They've been on their 4th or the 5-year program for deacons. And your husband will soon, hopefully, will be an ordained deacon in the next 2022. Irma has served as a volunteer of Downey in our library for the past 15 years. She's worked from the Friends Gift Store under the direction of Virginia Yoshiyama, the president of the Downey Friends of the Library. She's also been very involved in tutoring and summer reading programs. I can go on and on about Irma, and is suffice to say, you are a valued member of our community, and we appreciate your contributions. And since this spot was open in my district, and I got some various calls from members of the community letting me know, Irma, about your service. I am delighted to appoint you to serve in our library board. I know that Ben is going to be happy that we have a representative from District 4. And again, congratulations and thank you for serving our community in the various programs you do. It is a pleasure to welcome you aboard. Thank you. So here is your appointment. And Irma, would you like to say a few words?
I'm turning my back to you, so I'm sorry.
Oh, no, it's okay.
But it's addressed to the honorable council members, and just to thank them for this opportunity to serve this beautiful city of Downey. And also to special thanks to Virginia Yoshiyama, who nominated me and called me and gave me this opportunity. I hope to continue working at the library for many more years to come. So thank you for letting me be here. Have a good evening.
Thank you. And we actually have one last presentation. This will be done by the Southeast Los Angeles County Workforce Development Board. So if I can have Ben come on in. So just a little bit about, while Ben is coming in, a little bit about Celico. It's a Workforce Development Board. And we were having a special presentation by Ben, who will be explaining the grants that are available to small business owners. So if I can have you come on up and explain what the grants entail, how people can apply, and what information people need to know.
Perfect. Absolutely. Well, thank you. Good evening, Madam Mayor, Mayor Pro Temp, City Council. My name is Ben Sandoval, and I'm here representing my Executive Director, Yolanda Castro, from the Southeast Los Angeles County Workforce Development Board, also short for Celico WDB. So thank you for the opportunity to address the council this evening. 2020 has been a very interesting year for all of us. Wouldn't you say? Our daily lives have changed completely. Our communities have adjusted to the realities of COVID. However, small businesses have been impacted probably the hardest. Just in our LA County region alone, we currently will be having about 7,500 businesses that will no longer be reopening in the LA County region. However, one of Celico's primary focuses is to assist employers in making sure they meet their hiring needs by making sure we pair them up with the right job candidate to make the perfect match made in heaven. The employer is happy and the job seeker is happy. However, during the 2020 crisis, unemployment has skyrocketed and companies are laying off individuals, and their hiring needs are pretty much has slimmed down. But to address the crisis of employer layoffs, Celoco has received a unique opportunity to assist local employers struggling to address the impact of COVID-19. That particular grant is called the Small Business Revitalization Fund. Under the special grant released by the governor of California, we offer small business with less than 100 employees the opportunity to secure up to $10,000 in funding. The grant is a loan. I'm sorry, let me repeat that. Apologies. This is a grant, not a loan. The grant is specifically designed to support companies who have been impacted for COVID-19 and are risk are closing. So this particular grant is set up to assist employers in purchasing the following items: plexiglass, personal protective equipment, contactless payment systems, and outdoor patio. So if a particular business is looking to transfer their particular brick and mortar to an outside location, this particular grant would be able to assist them. Now, while the grant is limited on funds, how we can use them, we have qualified 5 companies and are currently in a process of qualifying 12 others. Here in the city of Downey, we have already qualified 1 business and are currently in the process of qualifying 2 more. As I end this here today, I do want to let the city of Downey know that we currently have a small business revitalization grant, round number 3 as we speak, going on. It just opened up yesterday at 10 a.m. and we will be keeping the grant open for exactly 1 week. So there are any small business here in the city of Downey, we would definitely like to assist those. We will be closing the grant this upcoming Monday at 10 a.m. So I want to thank the council for giving me the opportunity this evening to say a couple words and kind of share our grant. So thank you very much.
Are there any questions? No questions?
Ben, is the Chamber Executive Director still here, Michael Calvert?
Yeah, he's
So
back
maybe
there.
you can get with him, and then maybe he can.
Absolutely, sir.
Of
We'll do, council member.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ben.
Thank you, and thank you
Thank
for
you,
being
Mayor.
here and letting us know about this this grant opportunity. I know we've been sharing it on social media, but I thought it was important for you to be here in case people are watching us, virtually.
Absolutely. Thank you,
Thank
Mayor,
you.
for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Good job.
everyone.
And Michael Calvert's back there. Now is the time for city council member announcements, requests for future agenda items, conference meeting reports. I will start off to my far left with our Mayor Pro Tem, Claudia Fermetta.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I will keep it brief tonight. Good evening, everybody, and thank you for joining us. And thank you for those of you that may be watching us tonight, although I think we're all rooting for the Dodgers. Tonight, I do want to say thank you for those of you that are here, and thank you for our directors that do such a phenomenal job taking care of our city and our residents and the many requests that we receive. I want to let the public know that there is a virtual fair housing workshop coming up Tuesday, November 3rd via Zoom from 1:30 to 3 p.m. And I want to encourage those that follow our YouTube channel on Tuesday nights to also tell your friends and your neighbors to follow the City of Downey government page on Facebook and on Twitter, the various social media platforms. We have regular updates on various issues from the COVID updates to anything that is important to our community, any type of work that is going on in our streets, any type of update that is significant or relevant for our community is put out in our social media platforms. So please visit those regularly, like them. And I also want to encourage our community, of course, to have a plan to vote. We are exactly 1 week away from our elections. And I do want to remind that there are in-person voting locations. Once again, to please visit our City of Downey website, as well as the social media platforms that I just mentioned for additional information regarding those voting centers. I know that the Rancho Los Amigos in-person voting center is open daily from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. And also, as I do, Mayor Pacheco, I just want to thank you for bringing the representative from Celico. I was going to mention, as you've indicated, it's been circulated in our social media platforms that precisely what he discussed, the final round of the LA Regional COVID Fund program, just the applications that were open just yesterday, and they will be going on for a week. So we really want to take advantage of that $5,000 to $25,000 grant. And one last thing, there is also a mobile vote center that is going to be coming to Downey, and this is spearheaded by LA Metro, and there's LA Metro Lakewood Station. That's where the mobile voting center will be, and it's coming to Downey this Saturday, October 31st, from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. And I do want to acknowledge the work that has been done over the past couple of weeks since we last met. We addressed some issues in relation to the illegal dumping of furniture. And although I know that your office was also assisting us to contact CalMet and find out if there's anything that can be done for those that live in apartment complexes. There is a fee associated, so we want to follow up on that. I just want to say thank you also for the issue that we've been alerted regarding Apollo Park and other areas regarding illegal in transient, illegal activity and transient. But Madam Mayor, that would be all for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next up, we have Councilmember Alex Saab.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you, everyone, for attending tonight. I know we got some stiff competition with the Dodger game going on, but go Dodgers. First of all, I do want to thank, and I want to echo what our city manager said earlier, thanking Chief Gillespie for his 36 years of service. I can tell you from my experience, the last 5 years, Chief Gillespie has done an incredible job with our department. And I've said it before, he was the right person at the right time with the right demeanor, and he really has made an incredible contribution to our city in so many different ways. And we are eternally grateful for his service, for his kindness always, his open door policy, his just his overall service and demeanor to our community. So thank you, Chief. We appreciate you very much. And also to incoming Chief Herlock, congratulations. We have all the confidence in that you're going to do a great job and continue the strong tradition of Downey Fire Department. Having said that, our thoughts and prayers are with the strike team that went to the fires that have broken out in the last few days. We just want to let them know that they are in our thoughts, and we hope that they will come back soon. We know they do a great job, and our thoughts are with them. I did want to thank staff. I know last time we mentioned it, but it was officially, not officially, but it was the paper, the coverings were removed from the statue on 2nd and Downey Avenue, and that corner looks great. And I know that was a long time planning. Councilman Rodriguez and I think for a few years have been just discussing that part of the downtown subcommittee. And I know he would get upset with me, just pick something already and decide. But I think the end result really is. I'm glad we kind of fought through it. We made sure that it was something that was of good taste and quality, and we're glad that the council supported it. And I just want to thank all the staff, in particular Aldo Schindler, our assistant city manager, for all your hard work. There was a shredding event last week I was able to attend, and I just want to read off some numbers because sometimes we talk about these events and people aren't mindful of how well attended they are, and really what a good service it is for the community. There was a total of 10 tons of paper shredded, and there were over 531 residents that drove through it. So that was a great event. I think we do it twice a year through our partners of CalMet. So I just want to thank everyone involved in that. And lastly, this Saturday, there is also an event, an e-waste event for all those computers, monitors, TVs that people want to get rid of. There's also an event this Saturday. I invite you to go on our social media platforms and learn some more information. And that concludes my comments, Madam Mayor.
Thank you very much. Next up, we have Councilmember Sean Ashton.
All right. Good evening, everyone. A couple of things really quick. Daylight savings time takes place this Sunday. So please, hopefully someday we don't have to do this, but for now we're still doing daylight saving, and we set our clocks back an hour Saturday night at 2, or technically Sunday morning at 2 a.m. So please don't forget about that. Halloween is this Saturday as well. For those of you that are going to go trick-or-treating, please make sure you're following social distancing protocols as much as possible. We still have the issue of the pandemic. I know that certain cities have said that they're not going to allow it, but we're just asking that if you do it, you use some common sense and keep the masks on when you're approaching, and just be safe when you're doing that. Again, thank you, Madam Mayor Pro Tem, for bringing up the mobile voting center that's going to be happening this Saturday as well, from 11 to 7. That'll be at the Green Line Station. When we were working on this about a month ago, or almost a month ago, Metro was going to do these at other places. I asked them to see if we can include something in Downey, and they were able to work on getting that as well. So thank you to Metro and to the county staff for working diligently to giving us a mobile voting center for this Saturday as well. With that concludes my comments. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Next up, we have Councilmember Rick Rodriguez.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you for allowing me to sit in this seat, and I'll make it brief. I just wanted to kind of bring to your attention, if you didn't know this, we had a grand reopening of the 99-cent store here on Paramount Boulevard and Stewart and Gray last week. It's really good to see how that corner has been feeding our residents of Downey for years. Before there was a 99-cent store, it was an Alpha Beta. Those are old enough to remember. But you're a little girl at the time. But I will tell you that store is beautiful. The company that owns 99-cent store, they really invested a lot of money to make it beautiful. It's absolutely it's a great place to shop. And so and then another thing real quick is I want to just remind people about the idea of COVID. You know, COVID's for real. We just need to keep getting notice after notice. People either contracting the disease of COVID or dying from it. So please be careful, take care of your families, be serious about it. I know that there's a lot, we can very easily make it political. It's not political, it's life and death. So please be careful, and that's it for me, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. So I just wanted to mention, I also went to that 99-cent store grand reopening ceremony. But I also attended the Downey's Aspires virtual after-school programming. And it was exciting seeing all the kids on Zoom. They're actually a lot better than a lot of us on muting and unmuting and all the nuances of Zoom. But I really feel for all the teachers who are doing Zoom and trying to keep their students engaged, because it wasn't an easy task. These were smart kids. They were really engaged and motivated with their teacher, who was teaching them different things. They had a Jeopardy game. There was a Halloween program, but it was just really interesting seeing our kids on Zoom from elementary school all the way up till middle school. So that was an exciting event that I attended virtually. Also, as was mentioned, we do have Halloween coming up this week. We have a lot of different activities. We have a candy crawl event where families can take their kids to various different locations in Downey to get treats. This will be from 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. We also have a virtual spooky science event, and we have a drive-in movie night at Downey Adult School at 6:30 p.m. The film that will be shown is A Nightmare Before Christmas. It's $10 per car, and you have to make sure to register before the event. Are there still spaces available? There are still spaces available, so people can find the information on the Parks and Rec social media website, correct? So make sure and check it out. This will be a fun event for the whole family. And also, Dia de los Muertos will have a virtual event, and you can find more information on that on the Downey Dia de los Muertos social media pages. And as was mentioned, we are a week away from the election, so make sure and vote. We have ballot drop-off boxes in front of City Hall over at Independence Park. You can also vote in person over at the Rancho Los Amigos Hospital. And then starting Friday, you can vote in person at 3 different locations: the Dress Barn at the Downey Promenade, Ward Elementary School, and Williams Elementary School. So make sure and vote and be heard. And I just want to end with just saying, just like Councilmember Rick Rodriguez mentioned, we have to take COVID very serious. Make sure you wash your hands, social distancing. We have to continue practicing what we've been doing for the last several months, because we've seen it. We've had loved ones, close friends who've passed away. So it's something that we have to take serious. So I hope everybody stays safe this Halloween weekend and these upcoming winter months. Please continue what we're doing so that way we can all get through this. Also, I wanted to bring up 2 areas of concern. I know we've already brought it up. This is the Holly Gully. We're having a lot of complaints in the area of people partying over at the Holly Gully. They're going into the neighborhoods across the street. So I wanted to see if we can do maybe more of a police presence in the neighborhood, because we have a lot of people going after hours. They're, arguing out in the neighborhoods, fornicating out there. I mean, it's a mess from what the residents have told me. So if we can have more of a police presence on the weekends, that's when they're experiencing those problems. And I know we're going to be calling, possibly taking care of this situation with the Holly Gully, correct?
We'll work in partnership with the police department.
Okay, thank you. Also, another area of concern is the intersection of Stewart and Gray and Brookshire. We're seeing a lot of people taking, I know it's something throughout our city, but we're seeing a lot of people taking trying to go through the intersection, and they're taking a red light. So it's not only speeding, but my concern is people who are just taking the red light at that intersection. Okay, and that concludes my comments. So now is the time for non-agenda public comment. Before we begin the non-agenda public comment period, I would like to remind members of the audience participating telephonically that the city's meeting rules contained in the Downey Municipal Code prohibit any conduct that disrupts, disturbs, or interferes with the orderly conduct of the meeting, even if you are participating telephonically. Each speaker shall have 3 minutes to address the council on issues that are within the city's jurisdictions. Since we are under a federal, state, and local emergency declaration in Los Angeles County Safer at Work and in the community order, I will limit the non-agenda public comment period to 30 minutes pursuant to Downey Municipal Code Section 2105G. Members of the audience who wish to address the council regarding non-agenda items may now come forward while maintaining social distancing. Mr. Herman?
You know what's good about sincerity? If it really matters. Apparently, Our society doesn't get it. Got this little fucking tampon in my hand here. Doesn't matter of what's important. What's essential, you first establish it by opening up bars and letting people socialize. Then you want to be dogmatic like Joe Biden and say, you got to wear the mask. Well, no, it's a choice. A choice to live or die, or as I would put it very frankly, God hates fucking homosexuals. And for those of you who believe you're religious, believe in your deity, believe in a God, for Satan's a fucking God, and some of you don't even believe he exists. Where did this COVID-19 come from? It didn't come from any elected person running for our government. It came from the fucking Chinese people and their country. So who cares where it comes from? Who cares where it started? Who fucking cares how you look at it? Other than the fact that eventually you will die if you can't control your behavior in society. The same way when we had AIDS and no one told us about a man fucking another man in the ass, causing him to bleed would cause you to have AIDS. Now we have a respiratory infection similar to tuberculosis. It can be spread contagiously simply because you fucking assholes want to celebrate your fucking stupid holidays. Instead of putting them to the side for one fucking year and let's fix this problem of America. So don't come up with your crap that you're afraid. Don't come up with your fucking bullshit that you're going to do something better than what's already here. Make it universal. Stop playing games with our minds. You see the idiots that drive around with the mask on? Is that social distance? Some of us here don't even want to wear the fucking mask. So it's about time that small businesses and your grants shove them up your fucking ass. If things are going to be shut down, shut it down. If things are going to remain open, leave them open. If you're going to have us parade around in fear, then have fear within yourself. Do what's best for you. Stay the fuck home. Shelter your fucking life. But some are going to die. Some will have to live.
Okay, Mr. Herman.
And others will have to fucking remain
Mr. Herman,
silent.
time's up. Is there something wrong with the timer? Oh, God. Okay. Next up, is it already, the area already clean? Okay, you can step forward. Oh, wait, have we, is there something wrong with the timer? No, that's the 30 minutes. Oh, okay.
The only issue is that it didn't display on the screen, but it's displaying here.
Okay.
So it's counting down to 3 minutes.
Okay. All right. We're good? Okay, you can step forward.
Sure.
Yes.
Thought it'd be funny. Lee Squire, Vietnam veteran, son and nephew of World War II veterans. Good evening, Mayor and City Council. Subject, Veterans Day, VE Day, and the Jews. I'm asking that we keep the symbolism of Veterans Day alive. This means placing a wreath at the War Memorial, and I'm asking for the participation from the mayor and members of the City Council, Downey's Jewish Temple's rabbi and their Holocaust survivor, and military veterans, and I would also appreciate, if possible, a veteran of our police and fire departments. We must not lose another day to the Communist China coronavirus. We of the Vietnam veterans fought against evils of communism that was brought down upon us by our own federal government. This is also the year of the 75th anniversary of victory in Europe and liberation of the Jews. Please consider. God bless America. God bless the nation of Israel. God bless U.S. military and its veterans. And God bless local policing and communities across America. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other members of the audience?
Madam Mayor, good evening. Council members, Mr. Levis and staff, my name is John Lacey. There's been a lot of rhetoric recently with regards to the police departments. I'd like to add to that rhetoric by indicating that I support the men and women of the Downey Police Department. They protect me, my family, and my community from violence and mayhem. At times, they risk their lives, and for that, I sincerely am thankful for that. I also want to acknowledge the council and Mr. Levis for not telling the police department to stand down while they had demonstrations in our cities. Crowd appeasement generally is not the best approach. I also want to acknowledge Mr. Rodriguez and Mr. Saab and thank them for their time and effort for trying to improve the city of Downey during their term as council people. Thank you both and your families very much. Also want to comment briefly with regards to Mr. Ashton and his hats. I was brought up back in Pennsylvania, and growing up, many of us used hats. Many men and women used hats at that time. It was kind of a predominant thing. I would suggest to Mr. Ashton that if he's comfortable with what he wears, you go for it, guy. And lastly, Madam Mayor,
Thank you very much.
I'm not done yet. I'm going to quit at 1 minute. My time has ended. Thank you.
Thank you.
Move to close public comment.
Well, actually, we have members of the public who wish to address the city council regarding non-agenda items may now call our teleconference line at 562-299-6622. For those who submitted comments via email, your comments will be read into the record and no further public comment via teleconference will be permitted. City Clerk Duarte, have we received any written correspondence on non-agenda items to be read into the record?
Mayor, we have. We have an email from Lou P. Cruz regarding rent control. Per statewide rent control ordinance, maximum rent increase cap at 8%. Next, we have an email from Brian Medina regarding Tree People's LA Urban Soil Online Survey. Dear council members, my name is Brian Medina and I am a community organizer with Tree People, working in support of our project to plant and care for more than 3,000 trees. I wanted to invite you and all Downey community members to participate in our first LA Urban Soil Online Survey. This bilingual survey was created so we can build a snapshot of LA County soil profile and related needs or challenges affecting communities. It is our hope that this survey will also uncover opportunities to work with communities to make the greater LA area greener, healthier, and more climate resilient. We especially would love more input from Downey community members so we can make sure your voices are heard in regard to environmental and social issues. Also, all participants will be entered into a raffle for one of many $50 gift cards. Must be 18 or older to complete the survey, one survey per household. Those interested can visit treepeople.org/LA Urban Soil Online Survey or email me at bmedina@treepeople.org for more information. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to working with you all soon. Next, we have an email from Tania Moreno regarding the I-605 corridor project. Dear Mayor and City Council, I am writing to express my support to the city and the other agencies that are working closely to get Metro and Caltrans to minimize the number of homes that may potentially be taken as part of the I-605 corridor improvement project. My family and I fully support transportation improvements as long as they do not negatively impact homes in our community. I visited the Caltrans I-605 Corridor Improvement Project website for more information on the project. However, I have not been able to find a map that clearly shows the homes that might be impacted. We fear that Caltrans will use eminent domain to force us and other community members to sell our properties. Like many other residents, I learned about the project through the press release posted on social media. Please continue to keep residents informed. I respectfully request that the city creates an email distribution list to maintain the residents informed of the project. Thank you for your service to our community, Tania Moreno. Next, we have an email from Tiame Osekbi. Dear City Council members, city staff, and fellow residents, my name is Tiami Osekbi. I'd like to express my feeling about State Measure 16 and urge anyone who discuss racial discrimination to voting against it on November 3rd. State Measure 16 is against the law and is legalizing discrimination. Please help to stop discrimination of any race in our community and in our state. I believe we should treat everyone equally, give them the opportunity to become successful in this great state. Please vote no on State Measure 16. Thank you very much. Next, we have an email from Mike Ray. I am writing this after reporting this issue to our Downey Code Enforcement and Health Department as a neighborhood numerous times. Neighborhood behind Stock's restaurant not seeing any action. For years, the Hully Gully Bar has been haunting our neighborhood. It's been such a problem that the Los Angeles Probation Department has shined their parking lot, only making the Hully Gully's patrons park in Stock's parking lot and our neighborhood. Every Saturday and Sunday morning, I walk the street and pick up used condoms, beer bottles, beer cans, cigarettes, vomit, urine, and human poop. Yes, human poop on our lawns. Now, as we are in this current pandemic, we watch the Hully Gully with hundreds of people inside and out, drinking in front of our homes, urinating and going number 2 on the streets, watching people doing lines of cocaine on top of their cars and having sexual relations in their cars, just spreading chance of COVID-19. City of Downey not responding to the neighborhood calls. No police presence. Nothing being done for our little southeast corner of Downey. This behavior wouldn't be seen in the Reeves neighborhood or north of Florence. This morning was enough. I woke up to Hully Gully taking crap COVID, human waste, and face masks to wipe themselves, and this is after being up all night after two drunk patrons crashed their cars together with no police reporting. Shameful. We have 100s of homeless camps set up along the 105 freeway and motorhomes lining up all down Adori, dumping their toilets on the lawns. I guess the COVID pandemic does not matter to Downey officials, with our community's numbers being some of the higher. Again, I am writing this after neighbors and I personally report to City Hall, as well as this email. A letter went to local news, the Downey Patriot, Downey Facebook Crime Watch page, and a close friend of Google News. We will see if the little old neighborhood of Southeast Downey can get this handled, since it seems to be a joke at the city. Help the citizens of Downey stop spread of COVID. Holy Gully of Downey, Crapson COVID. Shameful. City of Downey doesn't care. Yep, that's poop with COVID mask. Signed, Michael Ray, proud Downey lifetime citizen. And the last email, Mayor, is from Angie Mancillas. Good evening, Mayor, City Council staff, and residents. I am Vera Robles DeWitt, President of the Water Replenishment District. I represent 10 cities in Division 5, which includes your city of Downey. I regret that I cannot be there in person to deliver these comments, but I would like to provide a brief update on what WRD is doing to ensure that residents have access to safe, high-quality water. WRD manages and protects groundwater for over 4 million residents, covering a 420 square mile region. You may not be able to see it, but half of southern Los Angeles County's water resources come from naturally formed underground basins that hold billions of gallons of fresh water. Fresh water in these basins becomes drinking water when pumped out of the ground. WRD is responsible for replenishing groundwater supplies and ensuring that the basins maintain healthy water levels. In the past, WRD imported some water from Northern California and the Colorado River to replenish our groundwater aquifers, but no more. Through innovative planning at WRD, we have created a completely locally sustainable source of water through our Water Independence Now program, also known as the WIN Initiative. The cornerstone project of the WIN Initiative is the Albert Robles Center for Water Recycling and Environmental Learning, ARC for short. This advanced water treatment facility provides 14 million gallons of highly purified water per day that we use to refill our thirsty groundwater basins. Not only does ARC create a resilient water future for the region, it also houses a state-of-the-art education center and sustainable demonstration gardens. We teach students and the public about groundwater, conservation, and sustainable gardening. In-person tours of the facility will once again be available. However, for now, we offer virtual tours. The good news is we are adapting to the current COVID-19 limitations. Our free Eco Gardener class has gone virtual. Topics include sustainable landscape design, edible gardening, irrigation basics, and drought-tolerant plants. You can visit our website at wrd.org/ecogardener for more information. For our younger learners, WRD is now accepting submissions for our annual student art contest. Kindergarten through 6th grade students are invited to create a piece of art highlighting the importance of water and conservation. Winners will have their artwork published in our 2021 Water Awareness Calendar and receive prizes. Our website, wrd.org/ and that's the end of that. That is all, Mayor.
Thank you. Do we have any speakers on the phone?
We do not have any speakers on the phone.
Move to close public comment.
Is there a second? Public comment period now closed. Now is the time for consent calendar items. Members of the audience who wish to address the council regarding consent calendar items may now come forward and form a line while maintaining social distancing. Members of the public wishing to address the city council, let's just wait till Mr. Herman comes up.
Congratulations to Irma for the one day to open library, if it ever comes soon. But let's go to item 8. Continuously, our infrastructure, not just here in Downey, but throughout the state of California is in dire rehabilitation. But let's go local here, off of Paramount, off of 5th and Western, off of 5th and Myrtle at 8042, where, again, poor construction, sidewalk access is hindered by furniture. I'm not talking about the furniture people throw out in the fucking street. I'm talking about Mr. Livas not assigning people with Edison to move your fucking pole out of a public right-of-way before you set a curb or a ramp. 203 sidewalk repairs. Is that all you can do? With $745,000 to spend on their infrastructure for the disabled and the elderly, and for those who have infirmities regarding their ability to walk? What a fucking shame. Millions of dollars should be poured out into this state to bring back our infrastructure to its grand glory, instead of all these shit potholes, these stupid assholes spinning out on the streets, tearing up the asphalt. What do you got to say for them, Mayor? Am I right or wrong? What about the 57 curb access ramps? What about the remaining million that are needed? What about the sidewalks that are not in the neighborhoods within the area I talked about off of 5th and Western? You put the KB homes up. Why didn't you use some of that money to put the sidewalks for people with disability? Again, the reason is because you discriminate. All of you. You're not worried about people with disability. You're not worried about the elderly. All you're worried about is jacking up the taxes. So stupid asshole voters can vote for Measure J, vote for all these stupid grants and promises, what all elected officials do, all politicians do. The same 40 years we put up with that jackass Joe Biden and 8 years of Obama. So you know what? 42 USC, 1983, fuck you, Obama, fuck you, Joe Biden, and fuck your poor infrastructure. I hope one day you get it right, Mr. Livas. Spend the fucking money.
Thank you, Mr. Herman. Members of the public who wish to address the City Council regarding, Members of the public wishing to address the City Council regarding consent calendar items may now call our teleconference line at 562-299-6622. For those who submitted comments via email, your comments will be read into the record and no further public comment via teleconference will be permitted. City Clerk Duarte, do we have any written correspondence on consent calendar items to be read into the record?
We do not, Mayor.
City Clerk Duarte, do we have any speakers?
We do not, Mayor.
Move to close public comment.
All right, public comment period now closed. Are there any council members that would like to remove, abstained, or, remove or abstain from an item?
Move to approve.
I need to abstain from item number 9 before we move on because my office is within the close proximity of the downtown Downey area. Is there a motion?
Move to approve.
Second?
Second.
City Clerk Duarte, can we please take a roll call vote?
Yes, Mayor. Councilmember Ashton?
Yes.
Councilmember Rodriguez?
Yes.
Councilmember Saab?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Frometa?
Yes.
And Mayor Pacheco?
Yes,
The consent calendar was approved unanimously.
thank you. Next up is one administrative report. Authorized issuance and sale of taxable pension obligation bonds, Series 2021. City Manager Livas, do we have somebody providing us a report on this item?
Madam Mayor, we do have a presentation that will be given by our Finance Director, Anil Gandhi. Before Mr. Gandhi steps up, I just got a text, just an update. Dodgers lead 2-1.
There you go.
Ooh, hey.
I'll make it quick.
Thank you.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and council members. Before I start my presentation, to give you a little background on the item that's in front of you, is that we have got $212 million of unfunded pension liability, and we'd like to refinance close to about 113 million of those unfunded liability by issuing a pension obligation bonds. Just to be clear, we are not creating new debt. We are just refinancing the existing debt, just like your mortgage. We are paying 7% to CalPERS, and we can refinance this debt at less than 4%. Our numbers are based at 3.7 right now, depending upon when the market is, when we go to the market. That's the background. Now, this project is going for last 6 months. I started in May with city manager, looking into how to sustain our increasing pension cost. And then we recruited the finance team. Our finance team is made up of the bond underwriters is Bank of America and Raymond James. We sent out an RFP to 11 investment bankers. Of those, 7 responded. Of the 7, these 2 were selected based on their qualification of the firm. Then we have bond counsel from San Francisco, Jones Hall. They specialize in municipal bonds. And they helped us when we issued our lease revenue bonds in 2017. And Mr. Juan Galvan, the attorney, is on the Zoom attending the meeting right now, if you have any questions. Our municipal advisor is also from San Francisco, the company called Philman Rollep and Associates. The company's principal, Mr. James Fabian, is in the audience. James, can you stay? He flew down for this meeting. And our actuarial consultant, Bartel Associates, was also the part of the team, and the trust is Wells Fargo Bank, and plus the city staff. That makes up the team for this bond refinancing. And I'll do my presentation now.
Yes.
Anybody has a question?
I do. Well,
Yeah.
are you gonna do? Are you done with your presentation? I'm sorry. Or were you?
No, he's just getting started.
I'm getting started.
Okay. Go ahead.
So our city contribution of 2 CalPERS benefit-based benefit system, miscellaneous plan, and safety plan. Safety is police and fire, and miscellaneous is the rest of the staff. City makes 2 types of payments to CalPERS each year. One is the normal cost each year based on their actuarial valuation, and when the normal cost falls short of the money, and then unfunded accrued liability is created. And that's what we are going to talk tonight, which is about 212 million. Both plan has 44 amortization bases. Each year, based on how they perform, an amortization basis is created. It's like your second mortgage, third mortgage, fourth mortgage, fifth mortgage on the house, just to you can equate to that. Of those 44 bases, we're gonna probably do about 22 or 23 bases. We're gonna refinance those. And the reason we are selected those 23, those are the sweet spot. They got a longer amortization period within the basis. So those were selected to refinance those, and that's the sweet spot for us. Current estimated pension funded status, right now miscellaneous plan is at 68.7%. Safety plan is 65.9%, an average of 66%. We are funded about 66%. CD6 total funded status of approximately 85%. That's what we are shooting for. By refinancing this, we want at 85% funded level. Our CalPERS valuation of June 30, 2019 from CalPERS, 212 million is unfunded liability. For the 21-22, our payment for unfunded liability is going to be $69,000, I'm sorry. And the normal cost is going to be 7, total of 23 million. 275, it's close to $2 million a month is just the retirement cost for the city. So far, how are we managing the pension cost? In 2005, city did issue pension obligation bonds for, I think it was about $20 million. We have negotiated with labor groups to require all employees to increase their contribution of CalPERS reportable compensation. So in 2012, 11-12, they started paying portion of their cost to the CalPERS, anywhere from 3.5 to 4% of their salary. Then the Governor Brown implemented a new tier in 2013, known as PEPRA. We also created a new tier in 2013, Tier 2. So we have created a lot of things. I mean, we have managed a lot of things by just to sustain the pension cost, but we are still falling short. So in June of 2020, we hired a third-party actuary to review our pension plans and see what we can do. Current annual UL payment schedule, if you look, this assumes current CalPERS rate of 7%. Payments are projected to increase 39% over next 10 years. You can see in 2021, we are at 16 million, and it goes down to 5 million, but somewhere in between, in 30-31, it goes up to 22 million. That's a big increase for us. To give you, which is not on this screen, but to give you a frame of reference, in 2016-17, our UIL payment per year was 7.6 million. And now next year is going to be 16 million, more than twice, and it's becoming unsustainable. Pension obligation bonds overview. Taxable form of debt is issued by the government employers to refund all or portion of their UAL with the goal of reducing the future liability. POB debt service payments would replace the allocable UAL amortization payments. And if you can look at the picture there, before and after, right now city pays to the CalPERS, and then the CalPERS the retiree benefits. Now what's going to happen is, once we issue the bonds, city is going to pay money to the trustee, to the bondholders for our debt service payment. And then the normal goes to the CalPERS, and the remaining portion that was not refinanced, and that portion will be paid to CalPERS, and then the money goes to the retired employees. Primary risk, reinvestment market timing. Actual savings will depend on CalPERS investment performance over the life of POBs to final maturity. The CalPERS performance rate will fluctuate, and the city has no control over CalPERS investment performance. Present value savings occur if CalPERS earns greater return than the POB interest rate. CalPERS historical 30-year rate is 8%, 5-year is 6%, and it's not on the screen, and 10-year is 9.6%. Historical interest rates and market trends. Despite volatile market conditions, interest rate remains low. Current POB interest rates are less than 4%, with CalPERS 7% interest rate. So there's a spread of 3. And you can see how the rates are falling on the graph. Municipal borrowing rates are currently near the lowest ever recorded. And we will issue bonds between probably 3.5 to 4%, less than 4%, probably somewhere around 3.7. That's what the market looks like today. If I had to go to market today, I will issue the bonds at 3.7%. What are our objectives? Our objective is increase overall funding ratio to approximately 85%. In my first slide, I said we are funded at about 66%. That will go to 85%. We'll be funded at 85%. We'll smooth out the level annual payments. We'll maximize savings, minimize risk. no extensions of final maturity date. So we are going to keep the same maturity. We're going to pay these bonds in 23 years. That's what those amortization bases get paid in 23 years with CalPERS. We're going to use the same amortization period. Preserve flexibility, and we can call this bond after 10 years at 100%. If the interest rate still follows down, we can refinance after 10 years, which is a big, big, big plus. Estimated annual savings. These savings are done by our financial advisor. It's about $54 million over term of the bond, about 23 years. We can save $54 million if we issue the bonds at 3.7% and the CalPERS doesn't fall below 3.7. We also did the stress test, as we call. We did the base case is 7% annual return, 30.5% present value savings, and 34.7 million in savings, present value savings. Stress test, next year it falls 20%, the first year after POB, and then it stabilizes at 7%. Our success rate is 6.7% and 7.6 million in savings. Same thing with stress number 2, test number 2, 6% annual returns, and then the 18.2% savings in the total, about $20 million, same thing with 3 and 4. Probability of all those combined right now, we can see that we are 81% success rate with what we are doing right now, which is a very high number. We also, that was the financial stress test.
Anil, can you go back to that? Because I want to really emphasize that. And looking at that stress test, I want everybody to understand that we didn't just take current market conditions. We looked at the various interest rates there. And if CalPERS doesn't achieve their 7%, it goes down to 6%, 5%. Even at 4%, we're still making savings.
Yeah.
So, and over the course of CalPERS' lifetime, I don't think they've ever gone down to that, that low. So the reason we do all these stress tests is that we want you to feel comfortable that the probability of there's always some inherent risk in anything that you do, but the probability is at 80% in terms, or almost 81%, that you're going to have some present value savings.
What's the lowest CalPERS has gone, Anil?
It has gone to 0% too for 1 year. I mean, 0.11 or something, if I remember right. But we need to look this in entirety of 23 years. At the end of the 23 years, how do we come out? And those are the stress tests it's based on. And CalPERS has gone as high as 20%, I think. I don't know, it's on my desk over there. But it has fluctuated during the recession, the Great Recession, it really fell down. But we look at the average of 5, 10, and those years. Where is it? If you look at those, the historical rate, 30-year return was 8%, 5-year is 6%, and 10-year is 9%, 9.6%. So that's your historical rate over a period of time. But if you look individual year within those 10-year, 30-year, it might go down to 1% or something like that.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Our financial advisor, Mr. James Fabian, also wanted to do an another test, stress test, by hiring Bartel Associates, who does more statistical work. And they analyzed 1,000 random trials of potential future annual investment returns. Actuary assumed more conservative CalPERS investment returns, average of 6.5% over next 8 years, followed by slightly higher than expected returns, about 7%, with a 30-year average of 7%. And probability of present value savings is at 75%. So one is 85, 75, so it's right in their high level of success rate. And estimated present value benefits is 29 million. And they broke it down between miscellaneous and safety. And then this last bullet is very important. Even under distressed scenarios, the city is better off with a PAB than without. So, I mean, this interest rate is very tempting. And then I mentioned the POB finance team. Underwriters are Bank of America and Raymond James. Bond counsel, Jones Hall. Mr. Gelwan is on the Zoom meeting here. Municipal advisor, Philman Rollep Associates. Mr. Fabians is in the audience. Actuary consultant, Bartel Associates, and the trust is Wells Fargo Bank. We got an excellent team. So recommendation is introduce and adopt ordinance in connection with the sale of 2021 pension obligation bonds. These are the timeline. Today is the first reading. November 7th is the second reading of the ordinance. In December 20th, the ordinance becomes effective, and then we get into the holiday season. January 21, we are trying to work with Standard & Poor to come and rate our bond, the ones that we're going to issue. The rating agency plays a significant part. The higher the rate, the lower interest we're going to pay. And then in February 21, sell and close the POBs. That's the game plan right now. I've been working with the city manager for the last 5 to 6 months on this diligently with our finance team. We have vetted this thing inside out, and this is our recommendation to go for it.
Thank you, Anil.
Thank you.
I want to say thank you for your presentation. Certainly, I think there's never been a better time or more opportune time than now to look at refinancing our pension obligation.
Right.
Certainly, in light of the unprecedented year that we've had and the current climate and the potential financial uncertainty that lies ahead, I think it's a no-brainer. How could we not look at an estimated savings of over $55 million? And considering the work that was done in terms of researching what was the lowest interest rate that has been recorded. And as you've indicated, because I know Councilmember Saab asked the question that I had, is what's the lowest it's been? But I think we also have to look at for the number of years,
Right.
Because it can go up and down in a period of 1 year or maybe 2. But what we're looking at as we look at this is the longevity of the type of loan. So I'm looking forward to the recommendation, and I thank you for the work that has been done.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments from my council colleagues? Okay, I'm going to now open this item up for public comment. Members of the audience who wish to address the council regarding item number 10 may now come forward and form a line while maintaining social distancing.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. Retired City Financial Services Manager and Municipal Bond Administrator. Your 2021 pension obligation bonds. In order to provide education and educated participation, I have submitted a public records request to the City Clerk. That being said, will the City Council consider a formal approving of an agreement for creating a Section 115 trust? Is there any reason or is there a potential benefit of at least setting aside some of these pension obligation bonds in a Section 115 trust just to kind of monitor what the bond market is doing and what CalPERS is doing? Also, I have one question, is what is the location of the property being sold for approximately $10.6 million that was mentioned in, I believe, your bond documents? Thank you.
Retirement. What is a retirement? Well, it's definitely not a reverse mortgage. For example, when CalPERS recently loses $69 billion in stock market crash over coronavirus. Right, Mr. Livas? CalPERS is known to make promises about our retirement. Yet they're the ones about over 2 years ago, or probably 5 years ago, invested our money in development projects. And at the end, who lost? We did. Those of us who received CalPERS. Because those rotten motherfuckers stole lots of money and bought nice new homes and had more than one home as their investment. But fuck the workers. Fuck the 20 years. Fuck the 35-year plan of pension. Right? At any various time, the state may and has experienced a significant financial budgetary stress. We are in that stress. The city of LA, for example, that stupid fuck Eric Garcetti is $600 million in a deficit. $600 million. And what is that jackass and the other two jackasses that are running for their presidency going to do?
Mr. Herman, please stay on topic.
I am talking about our retirement. How there will be no retirement when you put two smucks in a White House. So, again, CalPERS is about what? Service credit. It's about the X benefit factor by percentage per year. And at the end, a compensation. Well, I'm glad Mark Gillespie retires after 30 years. And I'm glad to see that he will take his CalPERS and spend it wisely. But for the other dumb fucks that have to work the rest of their lives off and find out that one day CalPERS loses your money, you're fucked. F-U-C-K-E-D, fucked. So sorry, mommy, if that disappoints you, because the truth hurts. I don't like getting fucked. I'm a giver, not a receiver, and not a fucking faggot like Eric Garcetti.
Madam Mayor, fellow council persons, I agree with Councilwoman Frometa. It's a no-brainer. And I want to thank Mr. Gandhi for an excellent presentation, a thorough analysis of the risks versus rewards of this investment in our future as I see it. And I've had the pleasure of hearing Mr. Gandhi during Measure S independent oversight meetings make similar reports that are just really well thought out. And he's one of the financial gurus that can explain this to all of us non-financial people in a way that we can understand it. And I think the council has very little risk that they're putting the city at in going forward with the pension obligation bonds. And if it does pass and comes to market, I'll be the first in line to instruct my broker to buy one of the bonds. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? No? Members of the public wishing to address the council regarding item number 10 may now call our teleconference line at 562-299-6622. For those who submitted comments via email, your comments will be read into the record and no further public comment via teleconference will be permitted. City Clerk Duarte, do we have any written correspondence regarding item number 10?
We do not, Mayor.
City Clerk Duarte, do we have any speakers on the phone?
We do not, Mayor.
Is there a motion to close public comment?
motion.
Second. Public comment now, period now closed. Is there a motion?
I make a motion.
Okay, so
Let me read the motion first.
you'll be taking two actions, so there'll be two motions. Madam Mayor will state the first motion, and then you can take action on that one, then the second one.
You guys got way too excited. Is there a motion and a second to introduce an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Downey authorizing the issuance and sale of its taxable pension obligation bonds, Series 2021, in an aggregate amount not to exceed $150 million to refund a portion of the city's obligation to the California Public Employees Retirement System, and authorizing the execution and delivery of a first supplemental trust agreement, a bond purchase agreement, and a continued disclosure certificate, and the preparation of an official statement and other matters related thereto. Is there a motion? Is there-
Second.
City Clerk Duarte, can we take a roll call vote, please? Go Dodgers.
Yes, Mayor. Councilmember Ashton?
Yes.
Councilmember Rodriguez?
Yes.
Councilmember Saab?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Frometa?
Yes.
And Mayor Pacheco.
Yes.
The motion is approved unanimously.
Okay, second motion, authorize the city manager, the assistant city manager, and/or the finance director to execute the following documents and any other related documents necessary to issue the taxable pension obligation bond series 2021, provided the principal amount does not exceed $150 million. A, first supplemental trust agreement. B, preliminary official statement contains the continuing disclosure certificate at Appendix F. C, bond purchase agreement. Motion?
Make a motion.
Second?
Second.
City Clerk Duarte, can we take a roll call vote, please?
Yes, Mayor. Councilmember Ashton?
Yes.
Councilmember Rodriguez?
Yes.
Councilmember Saab?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Frometa?
Yes.
And Mayor Pacheco.
Yes.
The motion is approved unanimously.
Good job, guys. City Manager Rivas, do you have any comments?
No, I think everybody's anxious to catch the last couple innings, so.
So I'm now going to adjourn the meeting in memory of Sergeant Harry Cohen, Riverside Sheriff Department, died while on duty. Cesar Arbolillas, longtime Downey resident. Robert Pacheco, longtime Downey resident, and the lives lost due to COVID-19. A moment of silence. Meeting adjourned. Go Dodgers.
Although.